Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is August 6th, and right now we're looking at the infrared satellite imagery here. If you look closely, you can see this upper level low off the California coast. That's going to be our next weather maker here across the Pacific Northwest. As this ejects northward, it's going to bring some convection, possibly multiple rounds, and this will favor the higher terrain, but we cannot rule out thunderstorms moving over the lower elevations here with some nice southeast steering winds off the Cascades especially. So looking here at CTAC yesterday, 76 degrees, 3 degrees below average. We're going to go above average today, and then we're going to bring on a little mini heat wave for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday before we bring our marine push back in here on Wednesday and cool us down. The Tri-Cities yesterday, 85. Nice break from that pretty extreme heat they have been getting, but we are going to warm back up again here, folks, before we cool down later on in through next week. Now, taking a look here, this is the European hot off the presses. You can see the upper level low off the coast here. I'm going to put this into motion, and you can see on the day Sunday some thunderstorm potential down here for southern Cascades of Oregon. As we roll through into Monday, you can see this extend, almost a little bit of activity showing off the Oregon coast even here too, across the Oregon Cascades as well. And as we go into Tuesday morning, this starts to push northward across northwest Oregon, Washington. Going through the afternoon, we're probably going to be getting thunderstorms for portions of eastern Oregon as well, as this first activity moves up across BC on in through the overnight hours of Tuesday into Wednesday morning. And then you can see kind of multiple rounds going on here as we finally kick this low out of here on Thursday. But we'll pay more attention to this when the high resolution models get in range. This can be very difficult to pick up the position of these thunderstorms, even the day of. So looking at the GFS, does it agree with the European on this upper level low? As we go through Tuesday, you see it does show the thunderstorms moving up Tuesday afternoon, potentially up into the southern Washington Cascades. And you can't rule out some of these moving up earlier than this also. And then you can kind of see as we go on in through Tuesday night, this introduces some of this activity across Portland, Puget Sound, all the way out to the coastline, North Cascades into British Columbia here on Wednesday afternoon. And this low kind of spins out here and probably brings multiple rounds of convection, mainly portions east and the higher terrain. Now looking here, 700 millibars, 10,000 feet, European hot off the presses. You can see the system, the 10,000 foot winds show that quite well. And you can see how these steering winds kind of come out of the southeast here. So when you get this convection over the Cascades with these southeast steering winds, you can easily bring some storms over the lowlands here. And you'll see the system finally move up on through the day Wednesday here before it will eject across the area on Thursday, bringing a nice marine push with it. Now this is looking at 850 millibars, 5,000 feet. You can see the heat build up as we go through, especially on into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. This thermal trough has got this heat well out over the Pacific Ocean here. Kind of pushes it up into British Columbia as well. This is Monday, possibly the warmest day for Seattle and Portland. Sunday could also be too, but then Tuesday, one more warm day before this marine air starts to move into portions of western Washington, Oregon, British Columbia. Probably another warm day on Wednesday for port places east at this point. Now looking here, this is 500 millibars, 18,000 feet, shows that upper level low. Kind of looks kind of monstrous here off the coastline here, moving up towards us here. It looks worse than it is here on this map, but you can kind of see that negatively tilted trough here and these southwest winds moving across the area, just kind of showing you the timing of this system. The model's been doing good picking that system up here, so let's see if they continue to do so. So here's the Tri-Cities. Enjoy that break. Probably low 90s today, a little bit. I mean, the average high is, I think, 93 for this time of year, so maybe up around average today before we warm up tomorrow, and over 100 degrees here on Monday and Tuesday for eastern Washington. Many areas as the Tri-Cities heat back up again, then drop back down as we bring that system through the area on Thursday. Here's Seattle, Tacoma. You can see today is probably going above 80. Then the next 3 days, probably upper 80s, maybe even flirt with 90 here on Monday. We'll have to watch that as we go day by day as well. Here's the GFS. Has been showing some low 90s for Seattle, but the GFS has been running a little bit hot here recently, so probably upper 80s, maybe Monday flirting with 90 is a better bet. Here's for Portland, European, flirting with 100 degrees here with Portland on Sunday. You can see Monday very warm as well before we start that cool down as we go through Wednesday and Thursday. Here's Snohomish County, Payne Field. You notice how they're cooler than Seattle. We'll take a look at why that is. Puget Sound effect up there. But these are still very nice, glorious days up there. Excellent temperatures for going outside. Now, let's talk about the thermal trough for a minute here. This is 10-meter wind speed, so basically surface winds. This morning, you can kind of see the offshore flow component to this. And when you haven't heated the land up yet, the thermal trough is more evident offshore in the morning hours. As you heat the land up a little bit here and you heat the interior, you start to bring that weak sea breeze action across the area. And you can see as we go into the later in the evening hours, this kind of westerly wind coming down the Strait of Juan de Fuca helps cool things down as well too. But you just got more open water here across the Puget Sound. The water is cooler, and that's what kind of keeps areas Seattle north a bit cooler than Seattle south in these setups. Now looking here, mean sea level pressure anomaly. So what are we looking at here? That you can see the surface pressure map here. Here's 1020. You can see that upper level low just barely registering at the surface, just a little bit of a low pressure there. But you can kind of see this extend outwards. A very nebulous thermal trough there. And you can kind of see during the afternoon we warm up the east sides. So that kind of brings that onshore flow. Even though it is weak, it still allows us to warm up. But then you'll see as we go into the overnight hours, that low pressure relaxes a little bit there, and you can kind of see the thermal trough offshore a little bit more. And then finally that system will kick up through here and just, kind of wreck this thermal trough and bring us back into a more normal pattern. Day one fire weather outlook, just calling for the isolated dry thunderstorms here across southern Oregon. I believe day two had nothing at this point. We're going to take a look here at this forest fire movement, because we have some of these steering winds aloft could bring some of this forest fire smoke into the region here. So we go through the day Monday, you kind of see this hanging out over Oregon here. Then it kind of pushes north into Washington. You see it shows some fires burning there across southern Oregon Cascades. And yeah, so we might introduce some of this smoke up into western Washington all the way up into BC here before the system moves through and finally kicks this smoke back out to these. Look at that, kind of a nice break there as some fires continue to burn. They've been getting quite a bit of lightning strikes down there through the Oregon Cascades the past few days, and that's going to continue here coming up as well. Now, 6 to 10 day outlook, near normal up here. Just go down through Oregon to get above. Monsoon season signal continues. Chilly Alaska season continues. And look at the 6 to 10 day precipitation, monsoon season. I sound like a broken record. You can see the signal there. 8 to 14 day temperature outlook as of yesterday was still calling for above average temperatures here for the Pacific Northwest. We'll continue to watch that as we get closer to those days, monsoon season. Now here we go, GFS, looking at the extended a little bit here. Here's that upper level low. You can see that ridge that kind of came across. You see the ridge heights build a little bit from the southwest here, kind of giving us our mini heat wave there. This upper level low will kick across and of course bring a nice marine push with it. But you can see how it kind of meanders and takes its sweet time there. Maybe it'll bring multiple rounds of convection, especially areas east. As it kicks through in the extended, the GFS is showing some troughing continue to move around the area. So I think the biggest takeaway from this is no major heat waves look like they're in store. No major storms at this point, but we're probably going to have, depending on the location of these troughs, maybe we'll bring another thunderstorm chance here again in the Pacific Northwest. But we're getting way out into fantasy land there. But the big takeaway is we don't have any major heat waves looking like they're on our doorstep as of yet. So yeah, hope you guys get out and enjoy this weather today. Today is going to be nice. We're going to warm it up tomorrow, Monday, and Tuesday before it cool things down. And it's going to be a pretty exciting time here coming up the next few days, watching this upper level low kick across the region. We're probably going to get lightning strikes all across Washington, Western Washington, British Columbia, Wednesday, Thursday, and as early as Tuesday as well. So it's going to be pretty exciting watching this system and how it develops and just see how the models do with it. But I have pretty good confidence here. We're going to see some pretty good convection here across Pacific Northwest. So anyway, we'll do this again tomorrow. I skipped yesterday, but we will do a forecast tomorrow. We'll continue to monitor the progress of this upper level low and our heat and try to find out who's going to get thunderstorms and who won't. So we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.